What's going on, boys? We got some more EX3 gameplay. I'm here with my buddy David on the left playing Jesmon. He is the true Jesmon grinder, so you guys are about to see some sauce, some crazy plays by him, as well as me playing BloomLord Hydramon over on the right. Pretty standard setup for both of us. He's got the red memory boost in play, and then I'm going to go ahead and evolve into the Weedmon and then just play a Palmon. That's the BT1 Palmon. That searches a level 4 from top 3. I still think that one's pretty solid, but of course the new Palmon is much better since it reveals top 4, and you can grab like basically any line that you're missing from your stack, right? We're going to see Bowhuck Digivolve in the back, and I'm just going to dig a little bit, go into Weedmon, and then Cherrymon Digizorbing, playing a Digivolving him for 1 effectively. And then I do have a pseudo blocker on field if he decides to maybe try to swing with the Bowhuck, trying to get that +1 off the Guri effect perhaps. Then I can go ahead and ram him into the Cherrymon. But he's not going to do that. We're just going to see another copy of Red Memory Boost. You know the drill, Jesmon. Basically just sits in the back until they're ready to go. Going to reveal 4 cards, but you can only grab the Solarmon. So we're going to take that. Not super necessary against this deck, I think, because I believe Solarmon reduces or prevents reducing play cost. I'll have it on screen, but doesn't really do anything against BloomLord. So we're going to see the Savior Hook Digivolved, as well as the Red Memory Boost giving the +2 memory. So Savior Hook now lets you attack into unsuspended Digimon for the turn. Of course, that does carry over for the stack, so something like Jesmon can come down and then, blitz into the Cherrymon and all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. Jesmon is really, really powerful. Any Jesmon fans down in the comment section below, let me know. I'm not a huge fan of the deck. Never really been my thing, even though I do like red decks quite a bit. I'm more of a fan of like the Greymon archetype in general. The Sistermons are cool. They have a bunch of really cool effects. We're going to see the Jesmon playing the new, I think that's starter deck Sistermon that like reveals and then you get to add something and then trashing the rest. Of course, really, really good consistency card. We got double blockers on field, of course, because of the Blanc's effect. That gives all of your Sistermon's blockers. I'm just going to use the Ayatarmon effect. It lets you suspend one of your Digimon to play a plant that is 3,000 or lower, so we're going to play the Palmon, of course, getting the Palmon search effect grabbing. I think I just grabbed another copy of Palmon there, so we're going to play the second one, revealing 4. There is the BloomLord, and I'm going to grab the second copy of Cherrymon here, sitting at 1 memory. Going to Digivolve the Vegemon. That's another reason I like this deck so much. It's because it's so memory efficient. It feels kind of like the more old school decks, and if any of you guys ever played in like set 4 or 5, stuff like Nidhogg Green or Fleecia Green, those decks were very memory efficient, but they weren't like boring in my opinion as something like Grand Kuwagamon where you're just OTKing. They're a very heavy control deck, so BloomLord being able to gain you back the memory. Hydramon here is going to hit the board. That card's really crazy because you get to just end of your turn bottom deck a suspended Digimon on your opponent's side of the field, so long as you've got 2 or more plants that are suspended. And then, of course, it's got a basically green Ice Wall effect, guys. So if he does have one of his Digimon attack or like one of his Digimon suspended, I get to gain a memory for each of my other suspended plants. So I would gain the one off of the red Vegemon. I'm not actually going to do that here, so keep in mind that is a misplay. I should be gaining off of the Hydramon effect. It is only once per turn, so we're going to catch it right there. I wasn't sure about that one, so I actually didn't remember if we caught it. So are going to catch that, going to put my opponent down to -1, and then we're going to play the Huckmon, do a little bit of thinking here if we want to actually commit to that, but we're just going to instead playing the Disciple from Master Disciple and revealing 3. I believe you get to grab either of the Jesmon or the Bowhuck. Death X, unfortunately, going to be bottom decked or trashed rather. Really good against the BloomLord strategy. Like the whole green, basically all the green cards in the deck let you spam out Digimon, Ayatarmon, Sunflowmon, things like that. Let you just go into a bunch of Digimon, so you can see now I've got 3 bodies on field, so Death X can be pretty detrimental. We're going to go ahead and go into the BloomLord, of course, gaining a bunch of memory back because of his on-evolve effect, and then he does unsuspend himself if you do gain 2 or more, and then we're going to swing into the Blanc Of course, does have piercing, so the attack is going to go through, checking 2 for 14,000, and we've still got the Hydramon for our opponent's turn. So we're just going to go into the Blossomon Digivolving for a cost of 2, and then Cherrymon for a cost of 3, putting up a pseudo blocker. And then of course we've got the effect to basically gain 2 memory from the Hydramon anytime one of my opponent's Digimon is going to be suspended. Now Jesmon having Blitz does kind of get around that, like you at least still get to play the game because you're basically just getting one swing in and passing turn regardless. So that can be really cool. We're going to go Savior here for a cost of 3. You can see our opponent has the Crimson Blaze in hand too, which is really strong against the Hydramon deck. Being able to not only pop like a wide board, but being able to floodgate them out of effects as well. And then we're going to gain a bunch of memory here. Based on the fact that I've got 3 suspended plants or plants on the field. I do believe Hydramon only gains you 1 for each other memory, so like 1 memory for each other. I don't think it counts itself, so I should have been +2 there. So we are sitting at 5 memory here. Our opponent is swinging, checking 2, because now we are playing the Sistermon CL from the hand, and then CL lets you, or rather, we are going to play the other CL, so gaining a memory back. And then Jesmon triggering, being able to play not only off the Jesmon, but also the Savior, so playing the other CL in this order, so that we can then evolve into the Jesmon X Antibody, gaining a memory since you Digivolved into a Jesmon or Royal Knight off of the new CL. And then the Jesmon X gaining the ability to give all Digimon, I think, +2,000, can attack unsuspended, and then playing a Sistermon, playing the Blanc, drawing a card. We've got Piercing, checking for 2 checks here, and I believe something like 17,000 DP. Now keep in mind, if he did attack into one of my Digimon, I could have definitely redirected with the Cherrymon. So like if he tried to attack into Hydra, I would have just redirected to like maybe the Cherrymon or something. Definitely think it would have been worth swinging into the Cherry, or at least like trying to bait out the Cherrymon, because at that point, like I'm down 1 body, but at the end of the day, I still do have 3. I would have 3 on field. Now he does have 3 blockers on field, so I'm not sure I'll be able to go for lethal. Unless I get into like another Hydramon, being able to perhaps bottom deck the Blanc to turn off all the blockers. So we are going to try to swing into security with the Hydramon here. CL is possibly going to be used for the block. Reminder that the Blanc is giving both CLs the blocker keyword, and then I think they are +2,000 until the end of this turn. Not big enough to threaten the Hydra, but still big enough to threaten any smaller stacks. We're going to let that go through. Blossomon is going to be Digivolve for 0, and then because I did suspend Digimon, I'm going to gain a memory off of the Itar effect, and then draw a card off of the Blossomon inherited underneath the Cherrymon. So really, really good stuff there. We're going to swing security into the, with the BloomLord possibly. BloomLord would be 14,000. But keep in mind that I don't know if it would be big enough to beat over the Jesmon, but we are just going to block it anyways. It does not have piercing since it was not evolved this turn, and then we're just going to go Hydramon number 2, Digivolving that, being able to suspend one of my opponent's Digimon, so going to suspend the Blanc, and then gaining a bunch for the fact that my opponent's Digimon was suspended, so gaining 2 off of that, 1 from each of the other plants that are suspended. HPD into the 3rd Hydramon, suspending again, gaining 3 here. Not exactly sure where the memory was, I think, because we knocked it over, but sitting at 4 memory. Triple Hydramon on field. My opponent's raging a little bit because I am kind of BMing him. I definitely don't need to do all this. Like, I've got triple Hydra on field. I'm bottom decking his own field. I'm going to go Blossomon on top of the Veggie. Go BloomLord, gain a bunch of memory. My opponent's already scooping, so that's going to be game number 1, guys. So really strong stuff by Hydramon. Can put up a lot of board presence. Game number 2 not going to start off so hot though. So we are going first, and then we're just going to hard play the red Veggie, unfortunately. Opponent's going to counter with a pretty solid opening with the Huckmon in the back. And then the Huckmon played for a cost of 3, grabbing the CL plus the Bauhuck. And Digivolving the Bauhuck, going on to memory. We've got the Genkumon in hand, Jesmon X, Sistermon, I think another Huck as well. So definitely got some stuff to work with. I am going to see a green memory boost, so there is some hope for me yet. I'm not completely out of this, so we're just going to pass turn with that. I got a Grandel Soul in my hand. I do believe lots of other cards that aren't the most useful right now. And our opponent is just going to go into the Savior Hook for a cost 3. Mushroomon is finally going to be drawn here, Digivolving that for 0, sitting at 2 memory, but I could definitely do something like popping the memory boost. Gonna go Weedmon for 1, Cherrymon for 0, or for 1 rather, looking pretty similar to the last game, and then Blossomon for a cost of 3 by popping the memory boost. Thinking about that, not really want to giving my opponent 3, and sitting on the field with 2 ultimates. I think I did draw the Blossomon after the Cherrymon, otherwise I probably would have evolved it the other way around, and then putting my opponent to 2 and then still keeping the memory boost instead, but I don't know if it was too big of a deal. But we're going to see Genkumon X Digivolved and being able to play a Sistermon from the hand or trash, I do believe. Being able to play one of the many Sistermon our opponent has in the hand. He's got the Sistermon Blanc here, which is going to get that discard 1 draw to effect, drawing into the Jesmon a little bit late, but Genkumon is still a big blocker on the field, and we can spawn like a Sistermon every single time he attacks, so it's actually still pretty solid. I remember there was like a pure like Genkumon Sistermon deck that like topped an event recently. If you guys know which list I'm talking about, let me know, but I think it was an like an Ulti Cup or regional, like an online event that like it looked like Jesmon, but he just was not playing any Jesmons. It was all Genku, so that was pretty cool to see. But Genku is a really strong card. We're gonna see the Weedmon on the board, and our opponent is just going to evolve the Solarmon for a cost of 0. Definitely doesn't want to swing with the Genku. I think you probably just keep it active, or maybe you just swing in fear of it getting bottom decked by something like a Hydramon. But if I had a Hydramon, I probably would have used it already. We're just going to swing Huckmon into the Palmon there. Sistermon Blanc is going to swing. No real reason not to. It's not doing anything right now. Already got the +1 off of it. Going to swing into the Palmon there, but we are going to live sitting at 3000 DP. We've got a little bit of an awkward hand. I don't know if he has any level 4s, so I don't know if he can like Digivolve into a Bowhook or something. We're going to draw 1 off of Gurimon, and then use the Huckmon effect to add all Sistermons to the hand. Bottom decking the rest, and then checking 1 for 12,000 Bowhook, deleting one of the Digimon on my side of the field, the Weedmon there, since it is 5k or less, and since my opponent has the Sistermon in play already. And then I think we do also get the play off of the Savior Hook inherited or something, possibly. Yep, so we're going to see the Blanc effect of the Blanc Awakened, putting the Blanc underneath, and then recovering 1, and then checking a security card for 12,000, I think. And hitting a BloomLord. Super unfortunate for my opponent. Got deleted because of the fact that they were the same DP. And we're just going to go into the Bowhook. So he at least does have the Bowhook. We just saw him draw into the Savior as well as the Jesmon. So he's got some plays for sure the following turn. But let's see what we can do. So we're going to go Hydramon for 0 off of the HPD, suspending the Blanc, gaining a memory back. And definitely Hydramon will come in clutch here because I can bottom deck the Blanc Awaken, since it does have an on-deletion effect, since it does actually like float into, it doesn't float, I think it adds back like a Huckmon or Sistermon or something. I'm just going to pass turn with the Palmon here, and then since I do have 2 suspended guys, I will be able to bottom deck it and then get the +2 off of the Palmon. So really strong presence on my field right now. Also got the Cherrymon to prevent any early swings. My opponent is at 1, doesn't have any sort of memory boost or anything, so we are going to just see the red memory boost, revealing the Savior, the one of pre-release Savior, guys. That is no normal Savior Huckmon. It is a pre-release stamped Savior Huckmon added to the hand. And then we're just going to swing Hydramon into the security here for a 13,000 security check into Bowhook. Blossomon, the Sunflamon Digivolved and suspended to play the Palmon for a 0 cost. I love that combo so much, being able to just play the Palmon and getting a search off of it. Thinking what I want to grab here, but I am going to grab the Palmon. I think I didn't really need another Hydra or anything else at this point. Blossomon suspending the Cherrymon to Digivolve for 0. And then possibly going into a BloomLord here, since I do have 3 targets basically for being able to suspend, and then gaining back 4 memory there, since we do have 4 and then going to swing, checking 3 cards at 16,000. Oh, actually, that would have put a stop to it. The Crimson Blaze killing the Palmon would have put my suspended count down to 3. So the BloomLord actually should not have checked the 3rd card there, because I would have only had 3 suspended rather than 4 suspended in play. So that is something to point out, guys. I didn't actually notice that until I'm going back to voices over, but I do apologize about that. Our opponent should have 1 extra security here, the Crimson Blaze, basically shutting off the BloomLord, and then now preventing me from being able to play Digimon via card effects. So I am just going to hard play the Palmon. We're going to see the red memory boost here, using the delay effect to gain the memory back, putting our opponent to 4. So we could definitely do something with the Savior Huck, possibly blitzing into the Jesmon, but I'm not sure it's enough with 5 Digimon in play. He's already down at Crimson Blaze. Death X was also bottom decked, I believe, earlier. So yeah, we can see his hand, not really much he can do there. We're going to see the Savior Huck Digivolve for a cost of 3, utilizing the On Evolve effect to be able to play Sistermon from him, potentially. So we can definitely play one, something like the Blanc in hand, I think, to be able to draw some more cards. But I'm not sure it'll be enough to be able to out the board, especially since I've also got the Cherrymon in play as well. So if I feel like I don't want to lose my security, I can just redirect the attack and then bottom deck his guy on the following turn. So we're going to go ahead and blitz, swing into the security here, not being able to play anything off of the effect since we don't have the inherited or anything. And then my opponent's just going to pass turn with that, I guess. I'm going to throw we're going to lose some memory there off of the Hydramon effect, and he's actually just going to crash into the Hydramon rather than going for security. And so here, my opponent would have 1 more security, but I could have easily just swung into the security with my other 2 Digimon. I did still have the BloomLord as well as another Digimon to play, so don't think it mattered too much, guys. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.